Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to my channel, Do Ministry Gaming, and today I want to do a quick video talking about one of the new 3.14 skill gems called Petrified Blood. Now the reason why I want to do a specific video talking about this particular gem alone is because I recently started using this gem on my character to fix some problems that I had, and it's worked really well, and I've had a really positive experience with this particular gem. And so I want to walk everybody through how it works because it is a new skill gem in 3.14 and how it's been able to improve my character. All right, so the skill is Petrified Blood. It is one of the new skills introduced in 3.14 along with many others. But this one particular is a mana reservation spell. Okay, so it functions like an aura. It reserves mana and it's kind of on you at all times. It's not a skill you have to actively use or anything, but it's technically not an aura. It doesn't have an aura tag. It's not a herald. It doesn't have a herald tag. It doesn't have any of the other tags. It just has a spell tag. But it is technically something that you reserve mana for, and it's just kind of on you all the time. And the mana reservation cost is 35%. Now, this aura or this spell, Petrified Blood, is a defensive spell. Okay, so the mana reservation of 35% is fairly along the lines of all the other sort of defensive auras in the game or what have you, such as like Skitterbots has a defensive component to it, the chill, or Flesh and Stone in 3.14 is now a 35% mana reservation. So it's kind of in line with sort of those defensive auras, and that's what Petrified Blood is. And at a very high level, what Petrified Blood does is it basically reduces the chance that you're going to get one shot. Okay, it takes anything that's going to one shot you and kind of spreads that damage out. And I'll go into the exact details of how it works as we walk through the skill gem, but at a very high level, that's kind of what its function is. And so my problem with my character was that I'm a dodge character, dodge-based character. And when I'm dodging, it was great. But when I'm not dodging, I basically got one shot to everything. And at one point I had a 4,900 health pool and it still wasn't enough. I was just, anytime I got hit by anything, I was getting one tapped and I was getting very frustrated. And so I started looking into this skill and started using it, and it's been very good. So I'll talk about a little bit more about that later. So this is a defensive skill that it doesn't completely prevent you from getting one tapped, but it definitely reduces the chance that you're going to get one shot by a lot. Okay. It is 35% mana reservation. Now the other thing is, once you've reserved that mana, it's kind of on you at all times, right? But it does technically have a cooldown time. It can't continually proc. It can only proc once per second at most. It's got a cooldown time of 1 second. So if you get hit by two things that's going to one shot you in a row within 1 second, you will die. It'll probably mitigate the first one, but the second one will kill you. And so you do have to be aware of that, be mindful of that when you're using this aura, that it's active, but it is have a 1 second cooldown. Okay, and now to talk about what the skill does, I'll just read line by line what the skill on the skill gem it says, and then we'll talk about what that means. But again, keep in the back of your mind, this is a defensive mana reservation spell that prevents you from getting one shot. Okay, so the first line in the blue there says life recovery other than flask cannot recover life above low life. And so low life is 50% now. It used to be 35% or 33%, something like that, but it is now 50%. And so what that means is if your health is below 50%, all life recovery effects will still work. Okay, and life recovery is a lot of things. Life recovery is regen, it's leech. Okay, life leech counts as recovery. Life gain on hit counts as recovery. Okay, and so any of those effects will work up until your health is 50%, which is low life. And then once your health is 50%, all of that stops working. The only way you can get above 50% is through the use of a flask, or I guess if any other life recovery mechanisms that don't fall under the life recovery category, which I think there might be one, like recover life or something. Technically, maybe doesn't fall into life recovery. But anyway, most things will stop working up to 50%. And then you have the flask to get above 50%. Okay, so this is supposed to be a drawback of the skill, right? It's sort of a negative to the skill. And it certainly is if you are not a low life character like me. If you're not a low life character, you do have to sort of play around this and get comfortable and used to playing like this, that you can't leech above 50%. My character has like 2% life leech, and so none of that is effective once my life hits 50%. So you have to get used to playing it. If you are a low life character, you could probably work this into your build somehow so that it's not a downfall, because you're permanently, at 50% life anyway. And so you don't need to go above 50%. But for the builds, like non-low life builds, where you have to or want to go above 50%, the only way to do that is through the use of a flask. All right, so now the second line of the skill is really what the skill is all about, and the most important part of the skill, which is when taking damage from hits, 40% of life loss below half-life is prevented. Then 76% of life loss prevented this way is lost over 4 seconds. Okay, so let me explain that to you with some numbers as well. So basically, if you take one big hit, let's say your health pool is 5,000, just for easy math, okay? If your health pool is 5,000 and you take an exact 5,000 hit, without Petrified Blood, you will die. But with Petrified Blood, what's going to happen is you're going to take 2,500 damage up to half health. Then the other 2,500 damage, the bottom half of your health, your 40% of that is immediately negated. So 40% of 2,500 is 1,000. So 1,000 damage of the 5,000 hit is immediately negated. So you're only taking a 4,000 hit. And then 76% of that 1,000 that you negated is lost over the next 4 seconds. So 76% of 1,000 is 760, and that's taken over the next 4 seconds, okay? So again, if you had 5,000 health and you take a 5,000 hit, without Petrified Blood, you die. With Petrified Blood, you take 4,000 damage, and then you take 760 over the next 4 seconds. And so in this case, you won't die, and then also on top of that, you're going to have 4 seconds to react to the rest of that damage, okay? Which is really great, because now when you take a crushing hit, you actually have time to recover. And so, for example, what I do is every time I notice that I've taken some hit that was otherwise going to, one-shot me or has proc Petrified Blood, I immediately pop Vulgrace, which I usually don't use until that happens. I immediately pop Vulgrace. I know I need to flask right away, or a couple times even. I need to get all my other defensive flasks on as much as I can, and I need to disengage from the pack that I'm fighting, or whatever I'm fighting. And if it's Ultimatum, maybe I need to leave the circle. Maybe I need to, dash to the other side of the Ultimatum. I need to make sure I get clear of any other damage. But the beauty of this is that it gives you time to react now to those big hits that otherwise would have one-shot you. And that's what this skill is intended to do. And after using it, I'll tell you, it really has helped me in terms of my survivability. I get one shot a lot less now, and because I can react to big hits, now I'm also staying alive a lot longer because I can take the proper defensive mechanisms after I take those crushing blows. All right, so there's a third part to the skill, which is skills gain a base life cost equal to 40% of base mana cost while not on low life. Basically, what that means is when you're not on low life, i.e. above 50% health, your skills are also going to cost life on top of the mana cost as well. Now, this hasn't been a number that I've noticed even. It hasn't bothered my character at all. It's not something that's taking chunks of my life away every time I use my skill. And so I don't really notice it, to be honest. It's a non-factor for me, but that is something that you need to be aware of is happening. And so, if you're testing the skill out, this might be something that bothers you, or you notice, or for however reason your character is set up. Maybe your skills cost way more mana. Whichever it is, you're going to start to use life along with mana for your skills down to low life, which is 50%. So that's just something to be aware of. And so that's kind of how the skill works. And so in terms of implementing it onto my own character, I'm playing an elemental hit raider now. So, a lot of people have asked me for a build guide for this character right now after seeing it on stream. and in the videos. So just quick comment on that. I will eventually make a build guide on this character. This isn't, my character's not complete yet, which is why I haven't built a build guide for this yet. I really like to have a complete character before I put one together for everybody, so that, you know, if you're following it, you have all the details, everything you need to have a good experience. So I don't feel like I'm in a spot where I can put a quality guide out yet, but what I'll do, because enough people are asking, is I'll just do a video in the next day or two that does a sort of just a quick update on how the character works. I'll have a POB so that if you at least want to, you know, look at where my character's at now, you can. Just know that it won't be a finished product. It's not a finished product, but it is good enough to do the job. I mean, it does all the content, you know, Cyrus 8, Conqueror, Shaper, Elder, and you'll see in the video I'll have some clips, T16 mapping. It doesn't have an issue with any of that. I do die every now and then, but it doesn't bother me, at least in softcore. And you know, the boss fights take a little bit longer than I'd like, but you know, it does the job. So look for that if you're curious. I know a lot of people have been asking, so I will put something out intermediate. Just know that it's not an official build guide until I make one of those finally. Anyway, back to the character and Petrified Blood. Like I say, before I wasn't running Petrified Blood. I was a dodge-based character, but every time I wasn't dodging, I was basically getting one-shot by pretty much everything. I tried to solve that problem at first by increasing my life pool. I got close to 5,000, and that was pretty much as high as I could get it, and it wasn't doing the job. And so I looked into Petrified Blood because I realized I needed some defensive layers underneath the dodge. And like I say, I've had a very positive experience. It's worked so well that I've actually given up a fairly strong offensive aura. I used to run Anger and Skitter bots for my fire-based elemental hit. I've actually dropped Anger from my build, which might sound like something that's pretty big to give up, but after just testing it over and over again, it was very much worth it for me. And you know, since I've started using Petrified Blood, I'm net positive, gaining experience. Like I say, I still die, and especially on stream, I don't play that well on stream. I die a lot, and anyone who's been to my stream knows. I die a lot on stream, but off stream, I actually do net positive experience. I've been able to level and what have you, and so you know, it's been working really well. And so I guess you know, what I'll leave everybody with here is that if you're in a similar situation, maybe you're a dodge-based character, or for whatever reason you're getting one shot a lot, maybe consider this. Try it out. It's very easy to try. You literally just have to put it in. There's no requirement. You don't have to be low life. It's not a low life only gem. You can put it on any build. You literally just have to slot it in, turn off one of your other auras, and just slot one of these in, and just try it for a couple maps, and you might be surprised that you actually like it a lot. Anyway, guys, I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found the video helpful, and if you did, please, as usual, like and subscribe. Also stream on Twitch Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Times are in the description below. Come and hang out. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.